Hey, it's Molly. Welcome back to my YouTube channel as we're going to take a look at the Cancer full moon happening on January 17th, 2022 at 6:48 p.m. That's Eastern Time. So be sure and adjust for your location on the planet. Now in this chart, we start by looking at that moon at 27 degrees of Cancer, 50 minutes. Really closing out the Cancer journey as it's reaching the end of Cancer. But nonetheless, this is what you want to identify in your chart, is where you have 27 degrees of Cancer, as this is where the moon will be the brightest and illuminating something for you in your chart and in your life. Now, the moon is at home in Cancer, and it's important to note that Cancer is associated with home, safety, family, nurturing, where you go at the end of the day, where you retreat to after a lot of work. It's where you feel cozy, calm, what you need to take care of yourself. So it's a very private feeling here with this moon in Cancer that wants a sense of, this is where I can go to be in my own energy, to feel what I'm feeling, to hear my heart, and to connect with what's happening in my internal world. So those are some of the main themes associated with the moon in Cancer. And it's very important to note that, because you'll see how this opposition to the sun in Capricorn is conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. So this brings in more intensity, and it really has a strong energetic focus around what we're moving through, what is changing in the Capricorn areas of our lives. And this conjunction to Pluto only happens once a year, and it just so happens to coincide with the Cancer full moon. And it also is an opening energy to the upcoming Pluto return in the USA, where Pluto will get to 27 degrees, 32 minutes of Capricorn. So we have a very powerful energy here on the Capricorn side of your chart that is requiring more time, energy, and focus. And that could mean that this moon in Cancer feels vulnerable, feels softer, weaker, could even feel like it's overwhelmed or exhausted from all of this energy here. So right away, what stands out is that during this Cancer full moon, there really is a need to come back to yourself. Give yourself some time and space for whatever you're moving through or whatever is going on. There's intensity also with that moon opposing Pluto, where it can, as I said, feel vulnerable, defensive. This moon is soft and caring, and this energy can feel more burdensome, intense, like there's things you really have to, suck it up and do. You just have to get something done. You just have to take care of business, own up to what's in front of you, move through something. And Pluto helps with that. But there's an innate discomfort in this Cancer full moon. There's a sense of a push and pull. And there's even that desire perhaps to escape and maybe not deal with some of what is going on or what's coming up. I feel like this Sun conjunct Pluto always brings up the transformational energies that we're moving through. It can illuminate what's been hidden, what's been kept secret, what's been in the dark, because the Sun really showcases whatever skeletons are in the closet. And that's Pluto's realm. Pluto keeps those secret. Pluto will keep things hidden until it's time to reveal something. And that's part of this energy of this Cancer full moon, is that there can be very big revelations that are emotional and can feel like you want to be self-protective at times. And then again, you want to retreating into a safe space or a private place in order to deal with what you're feeling. So this is a rather significant Cancer full moon, and as I said, it's also working with the USA Pluto return point at 27 degrees of Capricorn. So this is an opening into more of the themes and the ongoing story, because the USA Pluto return is an ongoing story, and it's about to become more significant and more intense. But there's information here that we're meant to understand and process. Now, this information that I mentioned is important to note because Mercury is now retrograde here during this Cancer full moon. Mercury stationed retrograde on January 14th. And as it did so at 10 degrees, it was squaring Uranus at 10 degrees of Taurus. So basically this Mercury, which is still conjunct Saturn, is receiving a lot of information and trying to figure out how to process it all. How does this all come together? What do I think about this? What am I going to do with this? Mercury in Aquarius is very intelligent. It can see the bigger picture. It can see something new and different that wasn't even seen before, and it's quite the intellectual. But as it's met up with Uranus, there is a shock. There's something that comes out that can be unsettling and unexpected. And then this connection to Saturn is about stabilizing oneself. What do I do with this? What's true? What's not true? I feel like that's a big theme with this Cancer full moon. What's real? What's not real? What is truth? What is not truth? There could be a big theme here of cognitive dissonance, where one thing you thought was true is being challenged, or something you accepted as fact is coming up and being discussed. There's a lot going on in this chart that feels unsettling. It feels like, what happens next? Where do we go next? What's going on? It basically has more questions than answers, especially with this Mercury retrograde interacting with the Saturn-Pluto square, which we moved through 3 times in 2021 and also experienced back in December 23rd, 24th. So now this Mercury brings in information, details, things you didn't know. It brings in something that wasn't perhaps revealed, or it wasn't, let's say, published. It wasn't out there. It wasn't something in our awareness. But as Mercury goes through retrograde, Mercury takes information back to Pluto. And Pluto, who has the secrets, who knows where the bodies are buried, who knows what's going on, has more to reveal. So we're really entering a time of big revelations, information, disputes. I mean, you could even see it as all the stimuli that we're surrounded by, all the information that's circling around. What is true for you? What is coming up for you? Maybe it's being challenged. Maybe it's something that you didn't think was real, you didn't think was possible. This is all being stirred up. This is a stirring the pot, Cancer full moon. And again, that Cancer full moon says, okay, I'm going to go back into my shell. I'm going to retreat. I need to feel into this, process this, maybe deal with something, and then maybe I'll have a better grasp on what to do next. So then, as we discussed, this moon is at the end of Cancer. So it's going to enter Leo within a few hours after the full moon. And as it enters Leo, it's then going to oppose Mercury and then oppose Saturn. So this is an opening into what's going on in the world at large, what's happening that isn't clear. It's not clear, but there's something that has to come up and out, and that's part of the task of this conjunction of Sun and Pluto, is that every year, once a year, there's this conjunction that brings to light something that Pluto has been keeping in his back pocket. So I feel like there is discomfort in this Cancer full moon. I think I called it a new moon earlier, sorry. Cancer full moon. And it brings up things that require processing time, or conversations, or things you need to discuss with others, or maybe even just time to yourself to sit with it and think it through. Now, this moon is all alone. You can see that it did have a trine to Neptune and Pisces before the full moon was exact. But then the moon moves on and wants to hibernate, be by itself, again, go into a place that feels safe. And I feel like part of what we're understanding is the self-care that is really necessary right now because of everything happening in the world at large. And this has been an ongoing theme for at least 2 years now, where we've talked about how there's big world changes. We know this, right? And yet, what are you doing to continually self-manage and take care of your own energy systems? Because this is a good time to check in on that and look at what you need to feel clearer and stronger in yourself, and to also honor the flows of what's coming up and to allow it to be, to just have it be expressed, have it move through you. If you're feeling sadness, honor the sadness. If you're moving through grief or shame, honor those feelings, honor those emotions. Allow this to be an energy that you're consciously working with. You're not avoiding it. You're not denying it. You're not suppressing it. You're just saying, this is how I feel. This is how I'm feeling right now. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot that's uncertain, that's moving through us, that can feel wildly out of our control. And so take care of you and manage what you can control and what you can harness in a way that honors your energies and what you're feeling. Now, similar to how the moon interacted with this Neptune before the full moon, this Pluto has been traveling in an ongoing sextile to Neptune. Now here you can see they are 5 degrees apart, which is a little wider of an orb than we typically use with outer planets. Typically we use about 3 degrees. But this Neptune has been providing an assist to what Pluto has been radically and deeply changing. And that will continue throughout the year as Neptune will be closer to Pluto as we move through 2022. And I just want to highlight that because this Neptune in Pisces is allowing us to spiritually grow and to trust this ongoing uncertainty and to remember the spiritual purpose of why you're here. And now that we have Jupiter in Pisces at 4 degrees, there could be a sense of knowing your own resources or your skill set in terms of working with energies. And where do you go to take care of yourself? Are you doing something regularly to support your spiritual practices? So spiritual self-care could be a very big part of what we're learning to practice here as we continue into January. And I feel like trusting and working with these Pisces energies are going to be key for what we're dealing with. And of course, that would be the healthy ways we use the Pisces energies so that we can open up to our crown chakra energies, our spiritual gifts, our intuition, artistic energies, creativity, imagination. Other realms, other dimensions could feel even more alive for you right now. So work with that as a way to honor what you're feeling and perhaps to redirect the energy so that there's something you can move and process if and when all of this feels overwhelming, which it does, and it has, and it will. This will continue to be a very big renovation at a global level that we're moving through. And I think of Capricorn as Wall Street, and I think of Cancer as Main Street, where you live, where your family is, where you go, that's local and known. So this could be a time when you, again, come back to what your family needs, what you can do with loved ones, what your heart needs. It's a very personal energy, and this means to balance it. Balance what you need. Otherwise, you could continue to feel very overwhelmed about what is unfolding in the world and the uncertainty of where things are going. Now, we do have this Mars at 25 degrees of Sag approaching the 27 degree of Sag galactic center point, which is a trigger and which opens up higher understandings of what's happening on our planet. The energy of Mars coming through activates an energy point and is going to bring in more of that trust, faith, and bigger perspective on what's changing, and reminds us to stay the course, here. Now, this Venus, she is still retrograde, where she'll be retrograde until January 28th, 29th. And you can see how she is re-entering a conversation with Uranus. And she's re-entering this conversation to have new understandings of what she's been learning over this intense Venus retrograde phase, where she's been conjunct Pluto. She'll be conjunct Pluto again. She has had a new start when she made a conjunction to the Sun at 18 degrees of Capricorn on January 8th and 9th. And she's been talking to Uranus about what she's ready to change and shift. And it's fascinating how Uranus is in Taurus, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. So there's some very big transformations underway around what this Venus is ready for next in her life, and where she's ready to go, and how she's changing what she wants, what she desires, what's in her heart, what she's ready to receive, and at a very deep level, her own connection to her sense of it's like the worthiness at a soul level. It's like soul value, soul worthiness, like this sense of, I feel like it's a clear slate. And there's things that could be shaking off for you, which would be part of the liberation from Uranus, where this Venus is reprogramming herself. She's reprogramming her feminine energies, her feminine expression. And she's doing it from a place of mastery and commitment to herself. So she's going to continue to be retrograde until the end of January. But this is an intense Venus retrograde, and it's really helping us gain clarity in how we're going to continue to walk on this earth, because she's in the earth signs and she's reworking our physical reality so that we're living with greater value on ourselves, on what we offer, and on who we are at a very basic level. And also important to note that Venus is now the ruler of the North Node. Let me tilt that for you. The North Node, which is now in Taurus. And the North Node in Taurus is helping with the stabilization of what is essential in your life. It supports grounding, clarity, simplicity. Where are you making things more simple for yourself? Where are you really tapping into what you need, what you don't need, the self-reliance? And this energy is also about choosing yourself, meaning choosing what you value, choosing what you need, choosing what is important to you. And that is one of the strong energies of this Cancer full moon that I will leave you with here. is that you can see how this moon is sextiling the North Node, and Pluto and the Sun are trining that North Node in Taurus. And I feel like we're coming back to basics on what it means to live a life that is meaningful for you and that has the essentials of what you need, where it's not maybe as complicated as we thought it could be or needed to be. Again, simplicity is one of the cornerstones of Taurus energy. And so I feel like what is happening is that we're getting an understanding that we travel with what we need, and we're going to feel fortified as this North Node continues through Taurus. And this could be a Cancer full moon where you become in touch with more of what is essential to you. And you're aware of what's changing in the real world, the uncertainty and turmoil of the real world. But this is, again, what you're choosing that is best for you now. And that, in fact, is your power. Pluto, that's your power. So this North Node is going to continue to move backwards. And as it does so, it will stay in this trine to Pluto into February. So that means something is opening up because of these intense Pluto transformations. Something's opening up in you. The Venus retrograde is where you're feeling it at a personal level, at a heart level. And there's something here that's becoming available to you this year that wasn't available previously. And that's especially true because of how Pluto is connecting with this North Node. It's helping us let go of old ways of living, old priorities, old value systems, relationships that were karmic, relationship patterns that were not healthy or are no longer healthy, but parts of yourself that connected to those energies. That's what's leaving. It's going out with the trash because that Pluto is also sextiling the South Node in Scorpio. So it feels like this Cancer full moon, it has tension and turmoil in it. It has a sense of, what do I really think? What am I choosing? What am I doing to process all the information that's going on? But something's opening up about where you're going next, what you want to create in the future, which I feel like is just this year, what you want to create this year that's really good for you. And it's based on choosing yourself and choosing what you value now. So a very interesting Cancer full moon as we move through January 2022. And these energies are quite big. So thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your connection here as we journey through the world of astrology together. Please check out my astrology programs, including the one that discusses all the energies of January, and also the 2022 Soul Growth Astrology Program, which is all of the main astrology of this year. I will see you back here soon for another video or podcast episode. In the meantime, I wish you a beautiful Cancer full moon, and be sure to take care of yourself at this time. I'll see you back here soon.